Okay, I'm going to start, and if I have anybody else to admit to this room, I will. Okay. All right. So can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you. Can I ask just everybody to mute themselves so that we don't have any background noises? And then I can start, please. That will be great. I wanted to say hello to everybody and thank you for joining me today and the many universities that we have from around Israel. Um, I'm not going to waste any time because we've got a lot of to get through tonight. And basically, I want to quickly um, let you know what the program will be tonight. I'm sorry, let me just admit someone here. Sorry. What we were going to do is we're going to allow each university, we've got a Technion with us, we've got Telfed with us tonight, and ask them to present some information that they've prepared with you. I think that at the end we will take questions, but just keep in mind that you will have the opportunity to write a comment below. And if you've got any questions, we will try and answer during the session. I just want to, let me just admit while we're talking here. Okay, so I want to thank Telfed for joining us. We've got Doron Klein, CEO of Telfed here, Simon Picas, the head of price and SASI program. From the IDC, we've got Jonathan Davis. He's the vice president of the external relation at the IDC. Stephanie Miller is the head of admissions at the Rafael Rakinetti International School and the South African representative from the IDC. Sorry, one moment, please. We've got Barry Lan, which the representative will be Mr. Katla from the Israel Experience. We've got Tel Aviv University, which Tatiana will be representing. The Technion is here with Ronnie. Ronnie will be representing the Technion. And Hebrew U, which is Mimi Laufa. She's from the International Office of the Rothberg International School, which falls under the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Bracha Singer is an alumni of the Mechina program at the Hebrew University. And we've got Carmel Kravitz, is the executive director of the South African Friends of the Hebrew University. So before we start, I just wanted to touch on why we're here today. As you know, Masa Israel Journey is hosting this. My name is Livnat Katz. I'm the representative of Masa Israel Journey. Masa is an umbrella of many programs such as Jewish Studies in Israel, gap year programs in Israel, academic studies, and internship programs. And what I would like to say that a lot of the degrees that we will hear tonight are covered by Masa grant. And the Masa grant that we offer goes towards the first year of your studies. Masa will give around about roughly an amount of $4,750 towards the tuition of the first year of studies. I will put my details in the comments below. And for any further questions about grants, you're welcome to contact me. I will also encourage the universities to put their contact details in the comments below, please, so that we can all get in touch and keep it that way. I think what we're going to do is start with Telfed. Is Telfed with us, Doron Klein and Simon Picas? Simon? Are you with us today? I don't think they have joined yet. So I think what we will do, we will go to the IDC. Jonathan Davis.
Okay.
Hi, Jonathan.
Excuse me,
Welcome.
sorry to butt in, but I'm from Tel Aviv University and I do have to leave soon because I have another commitment. So is it okay if I start first?
I think so. Is that okay with you, Jonathan?
I'll do anything for our neighbors in the South. Anything. I will lie on the barbed wire.
Thank you very
I'm a
much.
lieutenant colonel in the IDF. I'm a combat guy. I will lie on the barbed wire for Tel Aviv University.
Beautiful. Yes, just like, I am taking on a course too, very academic. So I'll share my. Hi, everybody.
Introduce yourself. Yes.
Sure, of course. I'll share the presentation we've prepared. So I see that I can do that right now. But my name is Shira. Nice to meet you all. I am an outreach coordinator here at Tel Aviv University. I have my colleagues here because, as I said, I am going on to my course very soon. But I'll give you a little bit of an overview about Tel Aviv University, about our academic gap program, as well as our undergraduate degrees. We definitely have more. We have graduate programs, we have study abroad, and people pursue research opportunities with us as well. So, but today we'll be focusing on the beginning of your academic journey. So Tel Aviv, the nonstop city, it's more than just a slogan. It is a city with beautiful beaches, a super diverse cultural scene, a top-notch cuisine. So if you're foodies, welcome, and a very vibrant nightlife when there's no corona. There's always something to do, see, whatever your heart pleases. The city serves as a meeting point between the old and the new, and I personally love discovering it. Tel Aviv University International slogan is nonstop discovery. We see people discovering more about themselves in a personal way, in a professional way, academic, and it's just so beautiful to see their journeys upon their studies here or whatever they pursue. So moving forward, Tel Aviv University at a glance, we have about 30,000 students, about 2,000, 3,000 of them are international students, just like you would be. The students come from 100 plus countries. We are very proud to be a top 100 innovation university consistently, and consistently also place in the top schools recognized for entrepreneurship in the world from Pitchfork. Ranking, at a broad scale, we have 9 faculties, within them 125 schools and departments, all of it in one campus. So really, if you are focusing in one area, but you have an inkling or you want to explore something else, don't be shy, reach out to that professor, look into that lab. We welcome that multidisciplinary lens. It is absolutely beautiful to see what you can do when you stretch your mind. So, as I said, we have 60 plus programs. I'm going to really focus on a few, and that's the undergraduate degrees as well as the academic gap, which is before. My colleagues are here, so they will be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Feel free to also pop them in the chat as well.
Shira,
yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you also, I think that everybody, what I would like to ask as well, that they will touch on the application process a little bit, also the dates and deadlines. It is also like the entry requirements. It's a lot of questions that we get. What are the entry requirements? And also, I would like everybody to know that to keep in mind, we've got grade 9, besides the grade 9, 10s, and 11s, and 12s, I've got the grade 9s. They've got subject choice next year in grade 10. So it is important to speak about the various subjects that they will require to take in grade 10. That's if you don't mind touching on that as well.
Sure. So I'll, since I have my colleagues here who are really the subject matter experts in terms of admissions, I can give the standard kind of bullet points of
Great.
what's required in the application, and they can match it to the specific requirements to our South African folks. It's great that you are thinking already. Kudos on you. For thinking ahead in relation to your subject matters. So, as I said, we'll focus on just a few, but know that there is so much more to do here. You really can stretch yourself and explore so much. A little bit about the alumni and achievements. We are very proud to have our scientists have created a 3D print of the heart, the Waze app that helps us get around. Also not included here, but Facebook's Israel general manager is a Tau alum. And COVID tests, at the time that we made the slide, it was at 2,000 tests in our lab on a daily basis, but there might be even more now. Regardless of which program you choose, we have a student life team at your disposal. They're there to orient you. They're there to provide support ongoing, assist with housing, any kind of questions about the medical aspect of things. And the really beautiful thing is they also offer a lot of social and cultural activities, even while people are coming to quarantine or, everything that has happened during this period of uncertainty. They continue to engage. They make shakshukas on Zoom together and stuff like that. So they're there with you. And when we can go on trips, they take you to the south of Israel, north, a day trip to Jerusalem, and so forth, as well as explore trips around the city. Now, so we have 3 full bachelor's degrees. The BSc Electrical and Electronics Engineering for 4 years, a BA Liberal Arts. It's a 3-year degree, but you receive the same amount of credits as you would if you were to go, let's say, to North America or Europe. BA Liberal Arts, a dual degree between us and Columbia. I'll cover them in just a sec. So a little bit about the academic gap. If you aren't yet sure what kind of degree you want to do, you can come for a semester or a year for an academic gap experience. It's very much of an independent journey because we want to give you a taste of what it's like to be a university student. So this is a great time to explore what interests you. If you aren't quite sure, you still get all the benefits, like I said, of being part of the Tel Aviv University International student. You still have all that stuff. Personalized academic advising to select your coursework. Here's a list of what you can do, and we do encourage for our academic gappers to meet with our academic advising. I'll speak about admissions and stuff at the end, so I'll just go through the programs first. So that's the academic gap. If you have any questions about the academic gap, I'm your point of contact. So I will put down my email address after, but I'm that point of contact. Okay, moving forward. So the BSc Electrical Engineering degree is a wonderful 4-year undergraduate program. If we have anybody in engineering is in the room, and especially if you have an iPhone, there's a little bit of a chip that was created by a Tau prof that helps extend your battery life. So I think we all appreciate that. I know I do. But also other stuff that came out of Tel Aviv University, super innovative stuff, is barcode scanners and even the Iron Dome. So now with that, you see the situation already. The professors not just impact industry, but also world-renowned for their research. The networking opportunities are incredible. You'll see in a moment when I show you all the logos of who we collaborate with. A little bit more about the technologies over here. As I mentioned, the USB as well. In the first couple of years, you go for core courses in physics, mathematics, and computer science. So there's a hint for you on what you want to strengthen yourself in. And then years 3 and 4, there's the specializations that you can look into, as well as a final project that really helps you culminate everything that you have learned. Career opportunities. So throughout the degree, we have our industry partners from Samsung, Mellanox, Microsoft, Intel. They go far and wide, and they do look for our students in throughout their degree. Moving forward, and if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. My colleagues are here. So this splits into the BA Liberal Arts. I'll start with that, and then the dual degree program in collaboration with the University of Columbia. So I'll start actually with really this quote that I love is, we can teach them how to think, how to program, but we need to teach them how to think. A lot of the high tech and startups also do rely on the people who are in the humanities, people who study how to research, how to organize and mobilize people. The International BA Liberal Arts Program is a 3-year program of 120 credits, so it does match with other accredited programs in the States and so forth. The classes are small, and they are meant to be that way. We have 35 plus countries represented just in the BA Liberal Arts. Both in the BSc and the BA, you have also an academic advisor to help you. And there's an array of tracks that you can choose from. The way it works is that in the beginning, you choose 4 tracks that you are the most interested in. And in year 2, you then choose which one is your major, which one is your minor, and which one are your 2 basic tracks. And from there on, you obviously focus more on the major, then on the minor, and then on the 2 basic tracks. The dual degree, on the other hand, has the first 2 years at Tel Aviv University, starts off just like the BA Liberal Arts I just spoke about, but then you move on, explore New York, and there you can also get a taste of the different studies at the Columbia School. So this is just a few of stuff. If you see years 3 and 4, this is just a few things that you can look into. There's so many, and if you go on the website, the list is really like you have to scroll down, and you come out with 2 degrees within 4 years. So this is really it from my end in terms of the presentation. I will now cover the admissions aspect. So we have an online registration portal, and there you need to put in your transcript, as well as an essay, a statement of intent of sorts, 2 letters of recommendation from an academic counselor or teacher, someone like that, and anything else that's further required, like SATs or so forth. My colleagues can discuss that regarding the specific program and how they evaluate. So thank you so much for listening. We really hope to see you on campus when you're ready. And we're happy to explore this opportunity with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shira. Thank you for the lovely presentation. I think
Livna,
you would like... Hello.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Hi, I apologize. Rabbi Clapper from Bar Ilan. Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry. I also, unfortunately, am not able to stay very long. Is it okay? I'll give a short presentation.
Please do. It's got to be short because I know Jonathan Davis has also got a meeting after this. So okay.
Yes, my apologies.
No
I thought, yeah,
Take your time. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Yes.
you,
Hi,
Rabbi.
everyone. My name is Rabbi Clapper. I'm representing Bar Ilan Israel XP. Again, I apologize to anyone. Certainly, I know everyone's time is very valuable. Certainly. Bar Ilan Israel XP is a very unique gap year program. We are located in Bar Ilan University, which is in Givat Shmuel, Ramat Gan, Israel. It is a certainly very vibrant university with over 25,000 students or so on campus on a quote unquote normal year, as we are not currently living in, as everyone knows. But Israel XP itself is a 1-year gap year program. It's to get that taste of university in Israel, and then to be able to take those credits with you and continue your studies in Israel, or take them back with you to South Africa, or really anywhere across the world. Our program is very unique in terms of the fact that it's very multifaceted. It's not just university. University is certainly an important aspect, but we are Israel XP. It means our goal is for you to have a true Israel experience. And that comes from leadership. It comes from volunteering. And it certainly comes from a spiritual perspective. We are an Orthodox program, and we want our students to connect to Torah, connect to the land of Israel, connect to the people of Israel, and certainly connect to your Jewish roots. That's a very, very big part of our program, and our programming reflects that as well. So in our university courses, all of your morning courses are going to be Jewish philosophy courses, Torah-based courses, things that will help you grow on your own personal journey in life, and help you in your own Jewish connection as well, in addition to university courses, which we offer in the afternoon, top quality university courses from Bar Ilan University. Our nights are full of optional programming where you learn one-on-one with our amazing staff, and you go on incredible trips on weekends, and we have Shabbatons all across the land of Israel. You go into people's homes and you experience Shabbat in those homes. It's really a multifaceted program where, if you are looking for that Jewish and university experience where you want to grow both in your academics and in your spirituality, then Israel XP should definitely be an option for you. Of course, I'm going to leave an email in the chat below if you have any more questions. Again, I apologize for holding anyone else up. Certainly we look forward to it. Academic, in terms of applying, I know that was mentioned before. It's a very simple process. You go online, israelxp.com, and we have a simple application. You have to fill out the forms. You have to write an essay. You get an interview. You have to have grades that are up to par with our standards. And it's nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to admissions. Okay, so I'll leave a contact in the chat. Of course, if anyone has any more questions. It's been so great to speak with any of you here, and good luck with this. The most important thing, come to Israel. I think everyone here can agree on that. There's no place like home.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you so much. Okay, so up next is IDC Jonathan Davis.
I want to thank the rabbi because he just gave me an extra 5 minutes. And so I'm going to be a little late for my Zoom call. I'll tell my president that Bar Ilan gave us 10 minutes. He'll be happy.
The next time someone says that rabbis speak too long, you tell them it's not true. We give up our time so that other people can speak.
No, actually, our rabbi on campus in JLIC, he speaks briefly also. He makes a point.
I know Rabbi Botwinick very well. Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
He and his great Rebbitzin wife.
Yes. Great. They're great people.
They're great. And they're 3 beautiful kids.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
All right. So I'll make a brief presentation here. And I will also discuss registration at the end. Okay. I'll discuss a little bit of philosophy and ideology also, because that's part of our game. Okay. We're the first private and non-profit university in Israel. We provide PhD degrees. So we're also a research-oriented university. We were founded 26 years ago. We're entrepreneurial, very entrepreneurial. We believe in free enterprise. We don't believe in big government, and we believe in capitalism. We're also a Zionist university. And as a Zionist university, we reflect upon the philosophies of people like Herzl, Jabotinsky, Ben-Gurion, and Menachem Begin. And if anyone has a problem with IDC being a Zionist university, you should not come to IDC Herzliya. I can recommend some other universities in Israel who don't consider themselves Zionist because they don't think it's academically neutral to call yourself a Zionist. We call ourselves a Zionist and at the same time seek academic truth. And we're not embarrassed by it and we don't apologize for it. So that's all I can tell you about our philosophy. We don't take any money from the Israeli government. So therefore we can decide for ourselves what our philosophy is going to be. And we built this university primarily to provide leadership for Jewish communities around the world and in the state of Israel, because we think Israel needs much better leaders, and probably the Jewish world needs also better young leaders to take over from the old guard. People like me, the old guard, we need younger, more successful people. We are a university which, when I say we're Zionist, how does that really manifest itself? First of all, we give preferential treatment to lone soldiers and to combat officers. By the way, I can't see anyone on this call. So do me a favor, guys. Open up your cameras because all I'm speaking to is Masa and Stephanie Miller and Ronnie Levinger and Neshama and Natalie, who only, so yeah, great. Open up those, open up. Hey, I see Osran on the call. I see that. That's scary. We'll try to get those dorms cleaner next time. Okay. All right. Who else is on the call? Daniel, I can't see you. Engelberg, Andrew Appleton can't see you. Sean Rosenthal, where the hell are you? Nadine Silver, it's unclear that you're actually in South Africa. Where are you guys? Please open up. It's a good idea, Masa folks, to always have the guys open up their cameras. Then you can see if they're sleeping or if they're awake. I always do that at the beginning of every Zoom call. So sorry for hogging. Okay. IDC Herzliya has 300 lone soldiers studying in the Rafael Recanati International School out of our 2,100 students. By the way, Osran, who you see here on the call, was also a lone soldier once way back when. We're both in combat units. I would like to say that during Corona, I have personally led an operations room at IDC Herzliya, where I've brought back to Israel about 700 students personally, with an operations room that works around the clock. It's been very hard. Because of Corona, a lot of things that are usually much more normative on campus are much easier to deal with than under Corona. So it could very well be that we could always do a better job, but Corona has been a constraint, okay? We've had to move our first semester into Zoom, okay? I'm pretty sure that the first semester of next year will probably be frontal. It's quite possible that the second semester will also be frontal or a combination of it. And the way things are in Israel, Corona is easing up, actually statistically quite nicely. And I trust the statistics that I get from the Israeli government, as opposed to some other governments around the world that I trust less about the information that they give out about Corona. And so therefore, it's possible that within a month or two, there will also be more interaction on campus. Of these 700 people we brought back, 400 are brand new students, and 300 were already studying here, okay? And I consider that, by the way, to be part of our Zionism, okay? IDC Herzliya established this, we established this operations room, and we had to negotiate with the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of the Interior and the Foreign Ministry, and we had to literally take care of ourselves here and our students on our own, okay? And that means we had to take a lot of flack and a lot of criticism, because someone who wants to criticize the Ministry of Health, okay, here's Jonathan Davis, you can beat him up. You can beat him up. Any problem with the consulate? Jonathan Davis. Any problem with quarantining? Jonathan Davis. No problem, I have wide shoulders. I'm a veteran of the Yom Kippur War, I survived it. I don't mind people shooting at me, even when I'm not wearing a flak jacket, but that's part of Zionism, and that's part of leadership, and that's part of taking responsibility. And so when we say we're a Zionist university, that's exactly what I mean. And by the way, a Zionist university can also have some non-Jewish students studying there. I heard, by the way, from Bar Ilan that they are Orthodox persuasion. I'm personally Orthodox myself, but the students who come to IDC Herzliya are from all different denominations. So you'll have Reform Jews, conservative Jews, Orthodox Jews, Reconstructionist Jews. You'll have Christians, and you'll have Jains and Buddhists, and you'll have Muslims, so that we're interdisciplinary when it comes to the student body. Although 97% of our international students happen to be Jewish, and we're here basically on a Zionist and Jewish platform. Part of humanistic Zionism is also to welcome others. We even have African refugees studying with us. And this year we have about 15 students from Africa, from Zambia, from Rwanda, from Tanzania, from the Congo and other countries actually coming to us on scholarship. Now, what do we teach at IDC Herzliya? We teach basically for full degrees. We teach for full degrees, undergraduate and graduate. We teach business, entrepreneurship, and economics, which are related undergraduate-wise to full degrees, full undergraduate degrees, 3-year degrees. Anyone who completes those degrees can afterwards go on for a graduate degree anywhere in the world and continue their studies, or stay in Israel and continue their studies with us. We teach computer science, we teach sustainability, we teach government, we teach psychology, we teach communications. Those are the undergraduate degrees. I can say about business, entrepreneurship, and economics that we have some of the finest professors who come from Ivy League universities in the United States to teach those courses. We have exchange programs, by the way, with 120 other universities around the world. We have special internships in high-tech companies, especially for students in business, entrepreneurship, and economics. Computer science is a very, very, very hard course to get into. And South Africans who haven't aced mathematics on their matric and gotten unbelievably great marks and be semi-geniuses in mathematics, okay, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to get into computer science, because the level of quantitative math in computer science is much higher than it is in South Africa or the United States, by the way. And from the international folks who get in, more Europeans seem to get in because their level of math seems to be higher than some other countries, and Israelis who do 5 units of math. So that's hard. We teach sustainability. It's a great course. Many students from Africa come to sustainability because they're interested in working on food and water and all kinds of other stuff on the African continent. We teach government, which is a lot of diplomacy and also counterterrorism. Psychology is on a very, very high level. And there's lab research actually that takes place already in the 2nd year if you're a student of good standing. And our School of Communications is considered one of the best in the country, with its own radio station, with its TV studios, and with a media lab, which with students who are working on all kinds of startups and all kinds of applications for cell phones and robotics, and you name it. So we also have the technological, as well as the social science, okay, and liberal arts. As far as graduate programs are concerned, we have a graduate degree in organizational behavior. We have a graduate degree in financial economics. We have all kinds of MBAs and GMBAs. We have a master's degree in counterterrorism, which is probably the best in the world, and a master's degree in diplomacy. You should know that we're the largest international school in the country. 40% of all international students in Israel who study for undergraduate or graduate degrees study at IDC. And I think we're also the largest Masa numbers, okay, in Israel, as far as full undergraduate and graduate degrees are concerned. Last time I spoke to Masa here in Israel, okay? And 1/3 of all of our students on campus, 1/3 of our 8,000 students on campus are international students. So there's a mixing, and there's integration and everything else. Okay, I mentioned the exchange programs. I should mention that we try to provide as much tender loving care as we can. It's been very, very difficult under Corona, when the students had to come from the airport alone, let's say, to the dorms at 3 in the morning from Venezuela or from wherever they're coming. It's been very, very difficult, human resource wise, to be able to have as many people as we could, also with constraints of the Ministry of Health and everything else. We've done more or less the best, okay, that we can under the circumstances. I see Ronnie Leviger is smiling the whole time when I'm speaking. What are you smiling about, Ronnie?
Ronnie Levinger is a mother of four, all running around me, while I silently watch over them and enjoy how they play nicely with each other.
Well, that's great. You know something, Ronnie, I can tell you that I can identify with you because I once used to have young children in the house. They've all left and they don't want to have anything to do with us anymore. They're just only too pleased to raise their own families. Actually, we built a swimming pool, so they come back sometimes. That's a good way to get them back. A braai on a swimming pool is always a good way to get the grandchildren back.
We're free Saturday morning.
That's cool, Ronnie. I love that. Okay. Remind me of the good old days. Okay. So part of the tender loving care that we try to give the students, okay, even though there were, the dorms are packed right now. We have 500 students in the dorms. Next year, by next year, there'll be another dorm building. So we'll have 750 rooms instead of 500. There'll be a lot less pressure getting into the dorms next year. Next year will be much easier to get into the dorms. We're going to have 250 brand new and clean rooms, okay, that have never been touched before. No mold, no nothing, okay? All right. So the story is very, very, very simply that we held high holiday services at IDC Herzliya, okay? And people of all Jewish denominations joined in. We have an organization called JLIC with a young rabbi and his wife. They conducted the services. There were 200 people in our parking lot in small capsules. Okay, davening. They blew shofar. On Rosh Hashanah, we provided them with free meals. For Rosh Hashanah, we provided them with free meals before Yom Kippur. And on Sukkot, we built a small sukkah according to the regulations. So what we try to do is take care of them. And I think that everybody can provide what the academic courses are. But the academic courses on their own aren't enough. In my personal opinion, you need tender loving care. And because when I was a lone soldier in this country, and because when I was a lone student in this country, I did not get that tender loving care, it gives me a lot of pleasure to come full circle in order to be able to provide that tender loving care. So many of the things that we do at IDC Herzliya, people call me a meshugana, okay? Because I think those are things that you need to stress, even though they have nothing to do with exploring academic truth, okay? It has to do only with exploring the humanistic truth of trying to make the student, okay, the most important person, okay? We've got 25 counselors. As we speak, these 25 counselors are now conducting Zoom conference calls, each of them with their 20 first-year students who they're in charge of. And these first-year students are asking about what to do during Corona. And these first-year students are asking, how are we going to be able to survive with Zoom in the first semester? And we're telling them, don't worry, we're going to give you private instruction if you need it, if you have a problem with Zoom, okay? We're telling these students, if you have any health problems, we're here for you. We're telling these students that we're going to provide them with social and cultural activities, even though at first they're going to start by Zoom, whether it's a debating team or Model United Nations. When I speak about the JLIC, which is also a club here on campus, the Jewish Learning Initiative and the rabbi, we daven here 3 times a day. We have a small synagogue in the dormitories, which I built, okay? It's named for the late Lieutenant Colonel Emmanuel Moreno, may he rest in peace, a family who I know well. He was killed in action in the Second Lebanese War. Lieutenant Colonel Emmanuel Moreno, till this day, we're not allowed to show his photograph because of the clandestine aspect of what he was actually doing during the Second Lebanese War. The synagogue is named for him. He's a very, very special person. We have Shabbat dinner. We have shiurim. No, I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished yet. You made me go third. You made me go third. I'm going to finish now after 3 minutes. Okay. There's a price to pay. Okay. When I was supposed to go first and I let 2 people go before me. You know what it's called? Competition, capitalism. Okay. So I'm going to take another 3 minutes now. Okay. That's the way it is. If I have to tell my president that I'm late for the Zoom call that I was supposed to be on, I'm going to get my Zionist pound of flesh here. Okay. So I'm going to finish now within 3 minutes. And within the 3 minutes, I would like to say that we don't have 30,000 students in our campus. We don't have 25,000 students in our campus. Okay. We only have 8,000 students in our campus, and that's all we're going to have forever. We don't want more than 8,000 students because we prefer to keep things as intimate as we can. That's number one. Number two, the application process for South Africans is very, very simple. We believe in the matric. There will be no psychometric exams of any kind for any South African student, okay, who wants to come to IDC Herzliya, because I believe that the psychometric exams are bullshit, and because I believe that the psychometric exams are culturally biased to people who are not Israeli. And before they even write their name on the exam, they've already lost 30%, okay, of the score because it's culturally biased. So we will judge the entry of every single South African student only according to the matriculation. The application process is very, very simple. You can simply go onto our website and you can apply online from the very beginning of November. Like everyone else, you need 2 letters of recommendation. You need to give us your matric results. You have to write an essay. You don't have to be an Albert Einstein to fill this out. And the other thing is, because we believe in entrepreneurship and because we don't want to think too highly of ourselves, if you send us your complete file and we've got everything, we're not going to make you wait for more than 2 weeks before you get an answer. There's no reason whatsoever to keep you guessing and waiting. And the earlier, by the way, that you apply, the less chance it is that you're going to be waitlisted for something. So thank you very much, Masa, for putting up with my very, very long presentation. And now I'm handing the microphone back over to you. Stephanie, did I leave anything out?
No, just that I'm the South African rep, and
yeah, just that Stephanie is the South African rep. Just that her father was a cooper. Her dad used to make wine barrels in Paarl. Okay, there was one nice little shul in Paarl. Her old man used to make the wine barrels. So sometimes I call her Stephanie Cooper Miller. Okay, she comes down to South Africa once a year with her kind of like Stellenbosch South African accent, which she has. Okay, the wine root South African accent. And she comes down there and she speaks to the parents and she speaks to the students. And she's kind of like the house mother of the South African students here on campus. I should also mention that I'm in charge of the scholarships. I should also mention that I spent 4 years in the Western Cape as an Aliyah Shaliach. And Myra Osran, the grandmother of little Osran over here, okay, his mother, sorry, you look so young that you almost look like your kid. Myra Osran was the chairperson of the Western Province Zionist Council when I was the shaliach down there. And Elliot, the late Elliot Osran, was a great guy, an amazing guy. Unfortunately, he passed away, one of the great Zionists of Cape Town. And because I spent 4 years there, I learned to respect South African Jewry. In fact, Stephanie sometimes makes me pink herring, which I eat with kichel during the brachas, which I have here in Israel. I'm handing the microphone back over to you, Masa.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for your presentation. Now, I would like to call Ronnie Levenger. Ronnie?
Hi, hello, good evening. I am going to try something new on you guys. We have prepared an English info session, a presentation pre-recorded with all the information you need, just a few minutes of everything, and then I'm going to watch it with you, and then I'm going to take questions. And you'll let me know how it works so that I know for the next Zoom I have in another community. So get ready. I'm going to share screen. There we go. Oh, 1 minute. 1 second.
Shalom, my name is Julie. Welcome to Technion. What do you think it means to be part of the Technion community? Being Technion means being part of the engine that drives Israel's entrepreneurial and innovative spirit. It means making our everyday faster, smarter, and better. Now more than ever, we can see the necessity of coming up with creative solutions to overcome the global COVID-19 crisis. As part of a leading community of researchers, Technion is working tirelessly to come up with solutions to ensure the safety of essential workers, improve treatment, and make testing more accurate. Technion's strong values to make the world better comes from its deep ties to the establishment of the State of Israel. A country born with little resources and few allies, Israel has had to provide creative and resourceful solutions not just to survive, but to flourish. And Technion was and is an instrumental part of that achievement. Israel's great success has led it to be named the Startup Nation, the country with the greatest number of startups per capita. Technion graduates are a major part of the high-tech industry workforce in Israel. Over the past 20 years, Technion graduates have opened more than 1,600 companies, generated more than $30 billion, and created over 100,000 jobs for those in Israel. Many of the biggest names in technology and innovation have made Israel their home to search for young talent, including companies like Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. Apple has only one other R&D center outside the US, located in Haifa, Israel, intentionally located near the Technion campus. Technion graduates are significant movers and shakers in the market, both in Israel and abroad. This includes developers of Alzheimer's medicine, Amazon executives, predictive data mining, and founders of life-changing technology. Technion graduates are inventors, leaders, and pioneers. Technion's pursuit of knowledge and learning has opened opportunity for Technion academics to push the limits of their fields. 4 Technion professors and alumni have won the Nobel Prize. As a world-leading university, Technion's global influence has grown with our international connections. This includes 3 campuses worldwide, in New York, China, and of course, in Israel. At Technion, we believe in helping students reach their potential by exploring their best. This means providing students with the personal attention necessary to help them explore their capacity, including small classes and professor relationships. This means preparing the students for future challenges and global trends. Technion offers a variety of programs for international students. Civil engineering. Turn your designs into plans, put your plans into action. It's time to make an impact. Change the way your family, your friends, and your community moves, builds, and conserves. Civil engineers are creators, problem solvers, and pioneers. With population growth, urbanization growth, and growing environmental awareness, there is important work to be done and creative solutions to be developed by civil engineers. Mechanical engineering, a field of endless possibilities. The field of mechanical engineering provides the foundational engineering infrastructure for all modern industries. A mechanical engineer is responsible for constructing creative solutions using scientific and technological innovations. From developing designs to building machines, mechanical engineers are essential to the advancement of humanity and its welfare. Study abroad, spring and winter semester in engineering and science. Technion's semester study abroad program in engineering and science is designed to give international students a unique academic experience, as well as a chance to get to know Israel, the startup nation. Our spring semester courses in entrepreneurship and innovation will push you to explore the enterprising spirit of Israel. Summer at Technion. Enjoy the multicultural experience of Israel while earning academic credits and gaining experience in a high-tech company. Our prestigious Summer in Entrepreneurship with Professional Internship program offers the opportunity to partake in an 8-week internship followed by academic courses in innovation and entrepreneurship. Meet students from all over the world while traveling around the country and gaining professional experience. What are you waiting for? The summer awaits. GTIIT, Guangdong Technion Israel Institute of Technology, is the Technion's campus in China. GTIIT offers Technion academic level in China and has the following degrees: chemical engineering, biotechnology and food engineering, material science and engineering, mathematics with computer science. Entry requirements include standardized tests and high school GPA. Please see our website for a list of admission requirements. Technion's Active Students Association makes sure that there are plenty of events and clubs for students to join. For example, every Wednesday for 2 hours there are no classes and students are invited to sit on the open grass and partake in fun activities such as DJs, dancing, or competitions. In Technion City, there is plenty to be excited about. Technion has an active Jewish community. Enjoy our kosher restaurants on campus, the welcoming environment in our synagogue, and Shabbat dinners with friends who will be your home away from home.
I hope you were able to see and listen, and I hope you liked it. I'm pretty sure it gives you all the information you need, except I'm going to make a few more points because I know we have some ninth graders, and in general, probably a few questions regarding admission. So I just want to say, Technion is an engineering school. We offer engineering degrees, and kids who are interested must take math and physics in high school and have an above 80% average in both those grades, and also as a general average. The admissions process is pretty straightforward, an online system that asks for all the documents needed, and we have a Zoom interview with the student, and we need a few recommendation letters. Usually you get an answer within 2 to 3 weeks from when you submit your application. We do have an early birds promotion, so you get a significant discount if you submit your application before January 1st of every year. And I can take some questions because I didn't waste my entire 10 minutes talking. Anyone?
I think that maybe, Ronnie, you can speak a little bit about, besides the application, the deadlines, and dates. You know, we do have also grade 9 with us. You know, they've got subject choice to make for next year.
Yep.
And what are the subjects that is required, you know, for them to take. I don't know if you can talk about that in general, but
Absolutely.
that will help a lot.
It's required that students take math and physics. They have to be science oriented, and it usually helps if the science professor, math or physics, is at least one of the recommenders out of the 2 letters you need to submit. The time to apply is during senior year. The application normally opens October 1st every year and closes June 1st. This year is very different. Last year we kept it open until mid-July, and this year we opened it before October. But normally you'll be able to apply your senior year October 1st until June 1st.
Okay.
Sorry, can I ask a question, please?
Absolutely, Donna.
In terms of the application, is it okay to apply with matric prelim marks, as the matric results are only going to be out in February?
Yes, that's not a problem. You start the process. You give us the school can give you transcripts. You submit your application, and then any other documents will be submitted later by email. That's fine.
Okay, cool. And then do you give information on the Mechina? Is that available on your website as well?
It is. The Mechina is a part of the program. It's not a separate part. People don't come just for the Mechina or do a Mechina elsewhere and start the semester. The first semester of the first year for all 4-year students will start in August rather than after the holidays, as usual in Israel. So August until January is the first semester. It's longer. And it's all about taking students coming from all over the world, studying math and physics in different languages and different methods, and putting them all on the same page so that we can make them engineers. So that's the Mechina is a part of the first semester, and it makes the semester a little bit longer, starting in August.
And sorry, just one other question. The engineering courses you've profiled, those are the ones that are in English. Correct. There are other ones, for example, my daughter's interested in the biochemical engineering, which I understand is in Hebrew, and she would do like a benchmark test to see whether her Hebrew is good enough.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
If not, do you mind? Hebrew, you quickly go, and can we do questions afterwards? Just because. Mimi needs to go. Is that okay? Thank you.
Welcome, Mimi Laufer.
Hi. Shalom to everyone from Jerusalem. How are you these days? I hope you're good. It's an honor. Thank you, Livnat. Always a pleasure to see you, and huge participation. I mean, over 70 people that are interested. Kadut. I'm just here to say hi, and I really need to run because my kid is waiting for me on the street, and I'm not sure that's a good idea during Corona. But we have today, in the Zoom, our amazing staff. We have Carmel who's going to explain everything about how to register, how to come, what do we have to offer for you guys here in Jerusalem, how easy the application is, and how much we love our South African students and our international students. Since we do have 2,000 international students from over 90 countries, I'm sure Carmel will mention that we're in the top 100 universities in the world. Of course, we're the best university in Israel. And we also have Bracha. She's a South African alumni who will tell her personal story. And we have Ella, my amazing student who works with me, that's on the chat if you have any questions. I want to wish you guys a normal year. That's all we ask for right now. And we want to see you, okay? Whatever you choose to do, Israel is a wonderful choice. The academia in Israel is fantastic. And the Hebrew U is amazing. So thank you very, very much for your time. And Carmel will take it from here. Lovely to see you all.
Thank you, Mimi. Carmel?
Thank you, Mimi. Sorry that you have to run. I'll give you a brief overview of the Hebrew University. I run the South African Friends of the Hebrew University. So we have a full-time office here in South Africa, and we're available to help you with your application process. The Rockberg International School is the international school of the university where you would go for either summer courses or 6-month courses, or a year where you could choose dance, arts, anything like that, which is an English course. And they also offer the preparatory program, which is the Mechina program. That preparatory program prepares one to study at the university. So it's almost like your introductory year, like your matric year, where you would choose your track. You could choose your humanities or your sciences, your business. And through that, you would get credits then towards your degree. And your degree at the university, your undergrad, is in 3 years. And through that, you get an idea of what you're interested. You can change courses. So it's a nice stepping stone into the university. Also, the students can stay on campus. We have Student Village where there's activities on campus. There's gyms, and things are happening all the time. They know that you're away from home, so you're looked after. There's a madrich who will care for you. And then in the university, we offer a wide variety of degrees. As Mimi said, we are the #1 university in Israel. So we will offer medicine, law, psychology, really most degrees, computer science. And then we offer the master's degrees after that. The Mechina really prepares one to study at the university. It gives one the academic know-how and the Hebrew. If we can quickly just have Bracha, who is a South African who has completed the Mechina year, and she can tell you about that year and what it offers. And then Ella, if you've got any questions, can answer. I don't know, Livnat, if you want to do questions and answers afterwards. Sorry, I know we cut your thoughts short because Mimi had to go.
Yeah,
I think Ella can kind of get. Okay, so Ella's a current student at the university, and Bracha's an alumni, so Bracha can just quickly give you some feedback on the Mechina.
Sure. Hello, everyone. So basically, I completed the Mechina, which was an incredible program, really. I think the first thing that I'd like to talk about is just the psychosocial support that you get. The fact that people are generally coming straight out of school. It's a program that, this talk is geared towards generally high school students. So, people are aware that that's the first time people are coming from home and are really, coming to live overseas, and you just need to know that you're really not alone, and they're students from all over the world. You're in an international school, and it's just an incredible experience learning with and together with and from other people. And the Mechina itself is, you learn Hebrew from one of the top ulpans in the country. And it's a very manageable level of Hebrew, like you learn and you progress in a manageable manner, which means that you are really prepared to go on and study further. and just living in Jerusalem is really fun. It's incomparable to other places in terms of like the being in the center of the Israeli life in terms of Yom Ha'atzmaut, the Chagim, you know, Purim in the old city, and Chanukah and Yom Ha'atzmaut all over the place. Like, it's amazing.
But I think it's also important to know that the Hebrew U does accept our South African matric.
Yeah.
You can apply with the South African matrics, you can apply with your results. If you do the Mechina, you use your Mechina scores to go into the undergrad. If you do not want to do the Mechina, then you would use SATs or psychometrics, but the South African matric is very well recognized at the Hebrew University.
Yeah. Also, there's a maths and a science course and a humanities track, where you can choose your subjects based on that, and you choose based on what you want to study after that, which track you would like to choose. So that makes a difference. And yeah, so I think it's a really highly acclaimed academic experience that you'll get. That's quite unique in its, yeah.
Ella, would you like to add anything?
I would just like to add that it's probably scary now with COVID and everything, but I just want to reassure that even though it's scary, our students in the student village are still having fun and enjoying and being safe. And there's a lot of activities going around, even though it's Zoom, and the student village, everyone there is keeping it really safe, so there was no outbreaks there. And it's really a fun place to come and study at, even if it's in Zoom.
Thank you, Ella. Kamal, is there anything else you'd like to add?
If anyone's got any questions, my email address is in the chat. You can contact all of us. We're happy to help you. We're here. We can meet one-on-one. We can discuss. Also, the Mechina program is covered in full by Masa. So the only expense is accommodation, and into the undergrad you pay as an Israeli student. So you know the fees are not the international student rates.
Okay. Also, the plus side of having Carmel here is that your parents can, you're having an issue there, your parents directly contact Carmel. It's a great resource to have that. Yeah, it's a great resource to have that's directly here and directly available to you, which is unique to South African students. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. We can move on to questions. I see there's a question here in the comments below. If we can answer this, let me just move up quickly. So which university offers an English undergrad program that feeds into medical degree?
So do you want me to relate it, Lena?
Yes, please. Oh, Doron, hello. How are you, Doron?
Good.
Doron Klein, the CEO of Telfed. You're so quiet there. I was looking for Simon earlier.
Right, so some couldn't join, so I've taken her place. So shalom everyone. So I'll relate to that question. Livnat, do you want me to talk now also about SASSI and scholarships?
Please
okay,
do.
Fine, and then I'll relate to the question also about medicine. Okay, so can you give me permission? Do I have permission to share my screen?
Yes, you do, Doron. Yes.
Okay, fine, so let's go. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you see, you guys, can you see what I have on the screen? Thumbs up, wave, do something. Okay, fine, great. Okay, so my name's Doron. I'm the CEO of Telfed, which is the African Zionist Federation Israel. And Telfed is the organization that deals with the absorption of South Africans in Israel since 1948. So we've been around since the establishment of the State of Israel. And specifically what I'd like to relate to this evening, besides our Klita services, which is for Olim. So we also deal with those pre-Aliyah. And that's what I'm going to relate into now with the SASSI program. I'll also relate to those people who are also thinking of making Aliyah and coming as Olim. So SASSI, as you can see here, stands for South Africans Studying in Israel. So this is our Aliyah promotion program. We're not scared to say that. We're not embarrassed to say that we set up this program in order to encourage Aliyah. And the idea is for students who aren't yet ready to make Aliyah, that they can come and study in Israel as tourists. And then we hope that after spending 3 years at one of the universities in Israel, we hope that after that, the people will make Aliyah. And indeed, we can see that our theory was correct, that the vast majority of SASSI students make Aliyah at the end of their 3 years of studying in Israel. Some of them make Aliyah while they're even doing their bachelor's degree. But this is a program that's designed for tourists. And even if you make Aliyah in the middle, you continue to get your SASSI scholarships. So what's the idea behind SASSI? So as you can see, as we have all the wonderful universities online with us this evening, and some of them that even aren't with us this evening, but all of these academic centers have all agreed to become part of SASSI, which means that they all give special tuition costs for South Africans. All of these institutions realize that South Africans have a difficult time paying with rands in a world that's generally dominated by American academic fees, and thinking about the American market and thinking about people paying in dollars. So everyone, when you see all of their logos here, every one of these academic institutions, they all agreed to give special tuition fees to South Africans, right? And it started with the IDC. They were the first university that we partnered with that gave special tuition discounts to the students. And then it spread to the other universities, to Bar Ilan, to Tel Aviv, and all of these that you see here, Ben Gurion, the College of Law and Business, the Technion, the Jerusalem College of Technology, and also, as you'll see later, the Mechina of Hebrew University. All of these academic institutions are prepared to give special tuition discounts to South Africans. And then in addition to that, when we were negotiating with all of these academic institutions and making sure that they're going to give special scholarships to the South Africans, we also give our own scholarship, and that's the SASSI scholarship. The idea of the SASSI scholarship is to help pay for your dorms. We rely on the academic institutions to help give you a special discount in tuition. And that I can say in Bar Ilan and Tel Aviv University and the Jerusalem College of Technology have all moved to shekel-based fees. So it's around 14,000 shekels a year tuition. The other universities are more expensive, but they still give significant discounts for South Africans. And the SASSI scholarship will help you pay towards your dorm fees, your living expenses. And so the way it works is that you apply to any one of the academic institutions or to Mechina at Jerusalem, at the Hebrew U. And once you're accepted, then you apply to us for your SASSI scholarships. This year, the SASSI scholarships ranged, the lowest amount that people got was 4,000 shekels. The highest amount people got was 12,000 shekels. There's a range, and it's based on need. And that's to help you pay towards your dorms. In addition, there's also a social program. As you can see here, we have tours around the country when it's not Corona time. And we have a very enjoyable social program where the SASSI students come together from all the different universities where they're studying, and they come together for social programs and Shabbat programs throughout the country. So you can see here we've listed the bachelor degrees in English. All our partner institutions that we said also give significant discounts to the tuition fees. And you can see Bar Ilan, IDC, College of Law and Business, College of Technology, Technion, Tel Aviv. Here's the Ben Gurion. So I'm going to relate to the question about the medical school. And in Mechina, right, we heard Carmel speak about Mechina. So there's 2 universities that give Mechina, preparatory programs. You can then go and study in Hebrew, which is great. If you can do that, that's wonderful to study in Hebrew. And then also you can be paying, shekel-based tuition fees around about the 14,000 shekel mark. So that's Hebrew University Mechina and Bar Ilan Mechina. And for all of these, you can get the SASSI scholarship, and leading into if you make Aliyah. If you do make Aliyah, then in addition to SASSI, you can apply for the PRUS program. The Telfit PRUS program, PRUS stands for Project Siua. It means an assistance program. It also means a prize in Hebrew. And the idea is that you volunteer for 3 hours a week, helping us to absorb new olim. There'd be new olim from any country in the world, that you help them. So, for example, you could be helping them Dafka learn English, while they might help you, learn Hebrew, Spanish, Russian, who knows what it might be. But it's specifically a program to help new olim. And you do 3 hours of community service a week, and that's a 5,500 shekel scholarship. And there's another scholarship which is based on financial need. So, but those are only for people who make Aliyah. So someone can start SASSI as a tourist, and then if they decide to make Aliyah in the middle of their degree, in addition to their SASSI scholarship, which will continue till the end of their degree, they can also apply for PRUS, which is 5,500 shekels a year, and they can apply for the scholarship based on financial need, which is up to a maximum of 3,800 shekels a year. So in addition to the SASSI scholarship, you can get up to another 9,000 shekels a year from the Telfit scholarships for Olim, if you make Aliyah. And I want to relate to the question that was asked about med school. So Ben Gurion, we also came to an agreement with them that they'll give special tuition discounts for those who come to study medicine in English at the International Medical School. But the International Medical School at Ben Gurion is based on the American model, that you first have to do a bachelor's degree with pre-med courses. You have to write the MCAT, which is a psychometric exam, especially for medical students. And only then you can come to Ben Gurion. So at the moment, we are in negotiations with Tel Aviv University and Bar Ilan University. We're trying to build a special bachelor's degree with pre-med courses therein, which is the biology, chemistry, physics, maths, those courses built therein, and the MCAT included. So you'll come here, you'll do your bachelor's with pre-med and the MCAT, and then you'll move into Ben Gurion to do your last 4 years of medicine. Now you can see, look at the costs here at Ben Gurion. They're very high. And actually, they're the highest that there are out of all the academic institutions that we're in touch with. I mean, you haven't seen prices like this by anyone else, $38,000. It's an enormous amount of money. Again, it's designed for the American market. $38,000 to study medicine is cheap. Obviously, for South Africans, that's an astronomical amount to pay. So Ben Gurion have also agreed to give special tuition discounts for South Africans. And we have a special scholarship program in place that will give an increased SASSI scholarship for those going to study medicine at Ben Gurion, much more than what we give in the normal SASSI grant, because we realize that this degree is so expensive. So we have a special scholarship, an added scholarship, especially for Ben Gurion. As at the moment, the program, the 7-year program, is not yet in place because we're still waiting for a final answer from either Bar Ilan or Tel Aviv, who's going to provide the 3-year general BA in English with pre-med and the MCAT. Once we have the answer from either Tel Aviv or Bar Ilan, then we'll be able to come and present a 7-year medical degree in English from beginning to end, which will be a partnership between either Bar Ilan and Tel Aviv and Ben Gurion. At the moment, what exists is just the Ben Gurion. So if we have people now that are going to study already now in January and already want to start something, and I don't have a 7-year degree to offer you in medicine. So what you could do is, for example, if you wanted to, you could study your bachelor's degree in South Africa, make sure you take all the pre-med courses, which is, as I said, the physics, the chemistry, the biology, and the maths, write your MCAT, and then come to Ben Gurion University ready to go into their med school program that's going to be, in 3 or 4 years' time. But if you're waiting for the 7-degree program from beginning to end in English in Israel, so it's not ready yet. We're building it, and I hope, please God, for the upcoming academic year, that will start next year in October time. So we're talking a year from now. I hope that by then, that both that either Bar Ilan or Tel Aviv will come to the party and will be able to offer you a 7-year medical degree from beginning to end in English, where you'll be able to get SASSI scholarships from the beginning to the end. So toda rabah, and I'm now open for any questions.
Thank you, Doron. I think we can take the matzeget down.
Yeah, sorry, I will stop sharing.
No problem.
There you go.
Thank you very much. That's fantastic. Okay, so we've come to the end, and I would like to know if anybody has got any questions to ask. We're here for you to answer all your questions. No?
Ask the question.
I'm just going to I'm going to write my email address now in the chat. So if anyone wants to email me afterwards about the SASSI program, you can just drop me a line.
If anyone wants to email me in person, my email address is Jonathan D, JONATHAN @idc.ac.il. You can either email me personally, or you can email Stephanie. With Stephanie, you'll get a South African accent. With me, you'll get the vice president of the university and the dean of the school personally taking your emails on. That's because I give preferential treatment to South Africans because of the nostalgia from the days that I used to be the emissary in the Western Province Zionist Council, and the days that Telfed put up with all of my mishigas over the years. Right,
we
Rabbi
still
Klein?
put up with your mishigas, Jonathan.
Kanai Nahara.
I think somebody had a question just now. I heard somebody wanting to ask a question. It was a lady.
There was a question about Mechina. Hi, it's Liat.
Hi, Liat.
Hi, I'm also with you on the Zoom. Hi, everyone. Someone asked about Mechina. How long is a Mechina?
At IDC Herzliya, you need to take a Mechina if you want to study business or business and economics, or if you want to study business and entrepreneurship, or if you want to study computer science. The Mechina is approximately 6 weeks, and you have to pass an exam at the end of it. It's pure math, not for me, but it's pure math. We teach in English, so we don't need to do Mechina for people who need to study in Hebrew. But if you want to learn Hebrew at IDC, you can study Hebrew every one of the years that you're there, because we have a Hebrew Ulpan on campus.
I think also Carmel can also answer that. Carmel, are you with us?
We can't hear her. I can answer some of it. Usually the Mechina is like an academical year. In the other university, it started in October and ended June. So it's like a regular academical year with all the exams and the finals going over it. One more question that people ask, and maybe IDC, Hebrew you can answer, about the grades in the matric. You said that in some of the places matric are considered relevant, but IDC, what are the grades that they had to be? At
IDC for South Africa, and only the matric is relevant. Stephanie, give us the marks that you need.
Depends what you're going to study. If it's computer science, you need really, really high math, as Jonathan's already mentioned. Business, entrepreneurship.
Give a number, Stephanie. Give a number.
90% in maths.
Okay, give numbers.
Okay, at least 90% in maths. In business, entrepreneurship, you need around 65, 70% in maths. And for the rest, they don't really, economics as well, definitely. And when it comes to communications, you need a matric average of at least 60, 65. Same for government, same for sustainability, and same for psychology, except in psychology, they also look at the maths and they look at the biology, and you have to have good grades in those. if you've studied maths literacy, it's fine as long as you have, as long as you get good grades and you cannot study business, nor computer science, nor entrepreneurship, economics with maths literacy. It has to be proper maths. I think that's it.
Okay, so for Hebrew, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, so for Hebrew, it's slightly different because your matric level 6 or 7 will get you into the Mechina course. And in that Mechina course, then you will decide which tracks you're going to take and which subjects you're going to take. And then you'll write exams at the end of Mechina and you'll use those grades to use for the undergrad. So the grades that you get in your matric gets you into the Mechina, and then the grades that you use for that you get in your undergrads in the Mechina will get you into the undergrad. So obviously it will depend on what you want to study and use the Mechina grades. If you do not do Mechina, so if your Hebrew is of a good level and you don't need to do the Mechina, then you would need to do SATs or psychometrics in order to go straight into the undergrad program at Hebrew U. It's all online. The result. Sorry.
And how long is the Mechina at Hebrew U?
Also, it starts the Ulpan starts in July, where you have a 6 to 8 week Ulpan with all international students of all different levels. Some have got Hebrew, some don't have any Hebrew. And then you would join the Mechina when the university starts in October to the July next year. And then you would write exams and then start your undergrad in that October.
Okay, I'm just scrolling down the questions.
If not, I just want to add that sign up for SASSI opens in February. So people should know that it opens in February. And then if someone's making Aliyah, so sign up for PRUS and for the scholarship based on financial need, that opens in July. So just to keep those dates in mind. And just for those people who are thinking of making Aliyah, so Telfed is the only Ole organization that provides housing. So we have 105 apartments, 75 in Tel Aviv, and the rest in Ranana. And Olim are entitled to come live in our subsidized rental apartments. So obviously, it's always better to go into university dorms. That's always the best, to be on campus and have campus life. If for some reason you're not going to the dorms, you're not living right near the university, so keep in mind the Telfed subsidized rentals, they're 30% below market rates for new Olim. And also for students, we have a full-time employment advisor, which will help Olim students to find jobs while you're studying. We have our full-time Klita counselor who help you with your process of absorption when you're settling in. And we also have for those who are thinking of making Aliyah and going to the army first and then studying afterwards. So we have a special division in our Klita department that deals with lone soldiers, helping them before, during, and after their release from the army. We have special scholarships for lone soldiers and special grants for lone soldiers to help them with their service, whether they do it before they study or whether they do it after they study. And we have a Telfed Youth Committee that's specially there for students. We're talking about student Olim. And we have over 90 events a year, about 5,000 participants in our events. Now they're all online. But there's wonderful events for students, for the youth, and you can be part of that as well. And I would suggest even now, already now you're thinking of making Aliyah or coming to Israel, already to go into the Telfed website to sign up for the newsletter, join the Facebook page, and that way you already start getting updates now about the different events. And you can already make contact now with the Telfed Youth Committee before you come. And you can start speaking to students from all the different universities throughout Israel, and you can consult with them and hear about their experiences at all the different places they've gone to. So if you are thinking of coming to Israel and you come in as an Ole, it really is a good idea to sign up now through the website and be a part of the Facebook and start chatting to those South Africans that made Aliyah before you that can share their experience with you.
So Ron, there's a question, I think it's for you, but it's not making any sense to me. I don't know if it says, how many years do you need to serve in the army with SASSI before uni? Yeah.
Okay, I'll relate to that. So So Army, right, so SASE, again, SASE is, it's a program, it's a scholarship program and a social program. It's not connected to the Israeli Army. But if you would come to do Army before you study at university, so generally you're talking about 2.5 years of study, of Army service for a male, a little bit over 2 years for a female. And generally what we recommend to somebody who'd like to come do Army service in Israel, generally recommend that you come do Kibbutz Ulpan to get your Hebrew onto a level, then join Garin Sabar, so you have a strong framework that looks after you. Garin Sabar is a wonderful Army program that in Israel Center can give you a lot of information about that. So we would recommend Kibbutz Ulpan, Garin Sabar, do your Army service, and then you can study afterwards. And then by then also your Hebrew will generally be of a level that you can then choose. Do you want to go study in Hebrew or do you want to study in English? And generally after you've done Kibbutz Ulpan and you serve for two years or so in the Israeli Army, by then you can generally manage studies in Hebrew. But the choice will be yours. You can then either choose to study in Hebrew, and then you'll also pay shekel-based fees, approximately 13,000 to 14,000 shekels. And if you're an Ole, well, that's paid for. It's paid for by a student authority and it'll be free. You won't pay for your degree. And if you choose to go on an English language, it's always your choice. As I can say personally, I mean, that's the route that I took when I made Aliyah. That was a long time ago. I'm one of those fossils, right? We're talking 35 years ago. But 35 years ago when I made Aliyah, that was the route I took. It wasn't Garin Sabar, but that route of going to the Army first and then being able to choose where you want to study, I do recommend that as an ideal route for settling into Israel. If you see Israel as your future homeland, it's always very important to go into the Army, to experience Army life, to culturalize to Israel through your Army service, and then to go study after that. So I would definitely recommend that as a more ideal route, if possible.
Before we finishing, I would like just to add a few more things. First of all, the Israel Center is here for you, to support you. Consider all what you want to consider, whether making Aliyah, just going to study, make Aliyah and then going to study in Hebrew or study in English. This is what we're doing. Livnat will support you in all the higher education and Masa program. And Ziva, the Aliyah coordinator, can support you with all the Aliyah information that you will need. Because each one of you is an individual, each one of you have a different dream and different wish for his life. And for each one of you, we will need to tailor-made his journey. So we are here to help you and assist to each one of you separately and find all the answer to your question. We don't know everything, but the role of Livnat is to investigate and to find all the small details that you are looking for. From my side and opinion, I think to learn in Israel, it's amazing experience, even if you are decided not to make Aliyah and coming back to South Africa afterwards. But also it's important to know that the Israel system is different. The students coming in much older age after the army, as Doron said, and it's giving you also different options to maybe do a gap year before and do some more stuff before you start in university in Israel. And good luck to all of you. We are here for you to support your decision and to connect you to the right people in Israel.
Thank you, Liat. I just want to mention Liat is the director of the Israel Center in South Africa, representative of the Jewish Agency. So thank you very much for joining us and for your words. Before we go, yes,
may I just make a point about the army? The question that Avigal asked about army service is that for South Africans, it seems so strange, this idea to push off your university studies by like 2 years. Like, what a crazy idea. At age 18, I need to go and I need to get my degree. I need to have a degree by the time I'm 21. In Israel, it's very different. Because in Israel, the majority of people go and do the army service first, and then they go study. So if you're going to go study in Hebrew at one of the Israeli universities, you're going to see that everybody in your class has done, most of them, I wouldn't say everybody, but most of them in your class have done the army, and then they've done a year's tour around the world or gone to India for a year, they have a jaw, and then they've come to study. So they're only starting their degree at age 21. So in Israel, it's a different norm. In Israel, Israelis are used to studying, you know, from age 21 onwards. So you shouldn't be scared of going to the army and then going to study, because that is a norm in Israel.
I would like to
studying much later.
I would like to make a comment here about the Army, because I graduated the Hebrew University in 1971 with a BA, and I went into a paratrooper commando unit and spent 3.5 years there. And now I happen to be a lieutenant colonel in the IDF reserves. And service in the Israeli Army is a very, very personal thing. As IDC Herzliya, which is a Zionist university, I would never try to impose the Israeli mentality on some youngster from South Africa who's wet behind the ears and doesn't know what's going on, okay, and is coming to Israel now, and we're telling them, well, you know, the Israelis, they all serve in the Israeli army, therefore it's a good idea for you to serve in the Israeli army after a gap year. I don't necessarily think there's any one idea that you should follow, okay? I think we need to be very flexible and talk about different options here. It might be good for one person as opposed to another person. And I can tell you from my experience that we have 300 former lone soldiers studying at IDC in the international school. 15% of the international school is former lone soldiers, and they're studying in English because the Hebrew they learned in the army was not good enough, even after Kibbutz Ulpan and even after the IDF, to be able to write a term paper, okay, or do research in Hebrew, because the IDF does not really teach a great Hebrew. It teaches a whole bunch of Hebrew, which you need in order to run an army, okay? And so that's one thing. Secondly, we have every year 60 graduates of the Raphael Recanati International School, which I head, who at the age of 21, when they finish their degree, either in communications or either in psychology or either in government, we have a special unit at IDC, which helps graduates of the RIS get into good units. So we have a whole bunch of graduates of communications serving now in the IDF spokesperson's office or in external affairs, or the ones who finished in psychology are working in the Bakum, which is the main conscription base, doing psychological testing for people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what I think is really important as representing a university, I never tell someone you should make Aliyah, or you should come as a tourist, or you should serve in the IDF, okay? Because it's a personal choice, okay, for each person. There's an 18-year-old who's much more mature and much more responsible. Maybe they were in great positions of leadership in a Zionist youth movement. There are others wet behind the ears who don't know much because they've had a relatively protected environment, okay? And as it is, it's gonna be a huge culture shock in Israel for them, acculturation-wise, because of the level of life that the average South African student has in South Africa. That's why I'm so afraid to tell someone, you know, make Aliyah right away or serve in the army right away. I give personal advice out to people, and some of the people, after speaking to them, I advise them to serve in the army. Others, I say, wait and don't go right away. There isn't any one answer. And I'm speaking to you as a former shaliach and as a person who worked in the Jewish agency for about 21 years. I pick up 9,000 shekels every month, by the way, pension from the Jewish agency. It was a great place to work. I starved while I was working there, but now I have a decent pension from there.
Sorry, can I just say, Jonathan, you are correct in saying that it is very difficult, even with the Hebrew that they get, to write the papers in Hebrew, which is why part of the Mechina gives you that training, and the Hebrew University does allow you, although the lectures may be in Hebrew, they do allow you to write your papers and your exams in your home language, which is a big, big, big help. I think Bar-Ilan does too.
Every university in Israel I know allows those people to write the exam in English. The only problem is what happens between one exam period and another exam period. What happened in class, okay? And what happened if you didn't understand what was being said? And if you're studying in Zoom and you need to understand what they're saying, what the hell are you going to understand if you don't speak perfect Hebrew? And the other thing I just wanted to ask you, Carmela, are you absolutely sure that when you finish the Mechina, you can get straight into any course at the Hebrew University?
No, as I said, you use your results from the Mechina. You use your results from the Mechina to then apply for the different courses in the university.
So you can study
Those
medicine.
results determine which courses you apply for.
So if I wanted to, I could study medicine at the Hebrew University. All I need is a Mechina from the Hebrew. I don't need a psychometric.
No, as I said, so depending on the courses that you do, then the results, then you apply. For medicine and law, you would need psychometrics because medicine is very different to any other degrees. You would have to be an Israeli citizen as well to study medicine. You cannot be an international student.
The problem with the study of medicine, when it came to a good friend of mine from Cape Town, who failed the psychometric 3 times, on the 4th time, didn't fail them. She unfortunately got a 690 or a 700 or a 720 when she needed to get a 780, okay? The 4th time around, and this was a head girl at the Herzliya school, the 4th time around, she finally got in to study medicine. So and it had nothing to do with if you're an Israeli citizen or not. The problem at the end of the day is the psychometric exams are culturally biased. And
absolutely correct. That's why they do.
And Israeli universities should be treating South Africans the way South Africans would be treated, okay, at a good university in the United States or in the UK. So a South African can get into Cambridge or into Oxford without a psychometric exam, okay? But to get into an Israeli university, they need a psychometric exam. That's why I'm so against the psychometric exams, okay? Because I think they're culturally biased. And I know Telfed is fighting with the Ministry of Education to try and change that. I think it's one of the hugest lobbies. When I was the Aliyah Shaliach in Cape Town, I sent 50 students to a certain university, 50 students to the Mechina. 45 of the students came back to South Africa because they couldn't hack the psychometric exams. So we just, so I've been scarred by it. And when it really pissed me off because those 45 guys never ended up in Israel. Those 45 guys ended up in Australia, in the States. We lost them here because the government at the time wasn't listening to Telfed. They weren't listening to Sid Shapiro. We said there's an emergency situation in South Africa at the time. Let these kids in. These kids have the ability to get into Harvard and Yale and into the Sorbonne. Why are you playing games with these East European games with these people? Okay, like in a shtetl. And they didn't listen. And we lost, in my opinion, hundreds of students over the years because of the psychometric. So I wish Doron the best of luck with his program at Ben Gurion, where he might be able to create a situation where and because so many great doctors in Israel are South Africans, so many of the best doctors in South Africa are South Africans. It's a huge shame that there won't be more South African dentists and more South African doctors because of some bureaucratic measure in the state of Israel here. So, this Masa has nothing to do with this, but you'll understand some of the barriers, okay? Those of us who want people to settle in Israel, you'll understand the barriers, and you'll understand, by the way, why I had to fight to bring the 700 students back to Israel. I had consulates overseas telling me that this kid can't come. They're not going to get in through Ben Gurion Airport. And my people in the RIS were calling Ben Gurion Airport and getting permits for them to get in through the border police and border patrol. Okay. What I'm trying to tell you is that bureaucracy remains, okay, the greatest enemy of the state of Israel till this day. And Telfed is doing the best they can to fight it when it comes to South African Olim. That's what they try to do, and it's not simple to do. Okay. So sorry for hogging this time and talking about it.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I think that we're going to end for now. Thank you all for joining me and for making some time to make this happen. For any other questions, I've put my contact details in the comments. Universities have also put down their contact Doron, the Technion. Please feel free to contact us. We'll also send a list of all the universities to everybody, so you've got the contacts. And thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Keep healthy, everybody.
Keep
Wish
healthy.
you well.
Bye-bye.
Best of luck to Masa, South Africa.
You all share the
Triple the numbers.
the garden. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.